The Walking Dead is an American post-apocalyptic horror television series based on the comic book series of the same name by Robert Kirkman, Tony Moore, and Charlie Adler. Together forming the core of the Walking Dead television universe, the series features a large ensemble cast of survivors of the zombie apocalypse trying to stay alive under near constant threat of attacks from zombies known as walkers, among other nicknames. With the collapse of modern civilization, these survivors must confront other human survivors who have formed groups and communities with their own sets of laws and morals, sometimes leading to open hostile conflict between them. That is some background story for the non-followers of the top series. Let's dive into the juicy details. The Saviors. The Saviors are a group of survivors of the apocalypse in this series, among others, who at the beginning of the series are antagonistic and given off to the idea of eliminating every other survivor group in their wake that refuses to join their purpose of restoring civilization. Well, that was until they came under the leadership of Negan, who became their leader with the help of a sidekick, Simon, by promising the Saviors protection from the walkers, the undead, which is one of the worst nicknames amongst others. Leading this group of brutal community bandits and seasoned assassins, they were known to kill dozens of people in the twinkle of an eye. Was one hell of a job that Negan undertook, but as a charismatic and, if I may, tricky person, Negan was able to keep them under control by introducing questionable methods, which would be questioned later in the course of the story. The brutality of this unsavory group reduced greatly when Negan assumed leadership. Although there was a particular instance where his right-hand man went out of position, which resulted in the death of many people, but that isn't important now. Generally, the Saviors obviously don't feel any remorse when they take lives, nor do they feel satisfaction. They're in between. Individually, they are each referred to by the name of their master Negan, with unnecessary chants of "we are Negans," adding humor to this apocalyptic story. Negan Smith, the dawn of a new savior. Negan Smith is one of the major characters in this series. With the boldness of 1,000 lions, this guy, who's played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who was a gym teacher pre-apocalypse with 7 ex-wives and 2 pet dogs, can be described as a bundle of joy who saves the Saviors in very awesome ways by giving them his own name, Negan, technically stripping them of their identity, but who cares, making them bow before him and dealing out heavy punishments for the least crimes. However, one must note that his cruel ways are only one side of the coin. Negan has also proved himself to be altruistic. By ensuring that his group survives at any cost, this can be extorting supplies and resources from weaker groups and threatening them with death if they don't oblige fast enough. Apart from his reputation for killing for survival, this ruthless leader also extinguishes lives to pass a very crucial message. Do not mess with me. Wow, terrifying. That's why to some, Negan is the perfect leader, and to others, well, his ways colored with serious savagery. He used fear as a tool to keep his subordinates and outsiders in line. He isn't above killing toddlers and adolescents just to uphold his rules. Despite this, he is a highly intelligent person who respects strong and courageous people. Negan also observes, finds, and exploits the weaknesses of whoever challenges him, well, until he's captured by a bigger group called the Commonwealth. Karma or not. In Season 11, Episode 12, The Outpost, several of the show's heroes, including Negan, are captured by the Commonwealth, a community with over 50,000 survivors. Military force, where most of Negan's tactics during his regime as the Savior's leader are implemented. To start with, the warden informs Negan and his crew that while they are working there is no need for names, which in my opinion is not fair. At least Negan gave the survivors his own name to promote solidarity. The Commonwealth's decision apparently was to prevent a collective prisoner uprising. Being on the wrong end of the stick made Negan understand the consequences of his past mistakes and see the flaws in his previous methods. He is then forced to confront his old self and learn what it is to actually be not cruel. Well, that's good for his character arc development. With Negan out of his leadership role, the Saviors are now being led by Daryl, who is just keeping the seat warm till the real owner returns. Now, the puzzling thing about Daryl's character is how he takes the interloper part seriously. Although he knows he was just just saving the seat for the real owners. How that happened is quite simple. Negan forms an alliance with Ezekiel to stand up against the Commonwealth and save their people. Based on comments made by the character, Negan is prepared to put his life on the line. At the end of the episode, Negan said, "I doubt I'll be getting out of here with you," which prompted a surprise response from Ezekiel, one of his counterparts captured alongside him. Clearly, the implication of this scene is that Negan will make a sacrificial move in order to ensure their victory over the Commonwealth in one of The Walking Dead's final 3 episodes. However, in spite of the show's setup, there's absolutely no reason to be concerned about Negan's fate in the series. After all, it's no secret that Jeffrey Dean Morgan will reprise his role as a character alongside Lauren Cohan's Maggie in The Walking Dead: Dead City. So no matter how intense or dire things may look now, or how bad their situation will get in the next episode, it's safe to say that Negan will escape in one piece because he's a main character. They almost never die, or he may not. The thing with characters like this is their penchant for defeating the norm. Negan will survive whatever happens next, but that doesn't necessarily mean that their fight won't come without consequences on some level. It's worth noting that of the two, it's Ezekiel who has the worst odds of getting out of there alive. The Walking Dead won't kill off Negan, but Ezekiel could end up sacrificing himself to give Negan an opportunity to escape and help their friends stop the Commonwealth in the finale. Hurts to be Ezekiel. Did The Walking Dead just set up Negan and Maggie's spinoff? Season 11 is confirmed as The Walking Dead's final official run, but AMC has already announced numerous spin-offs, one of which is titled The Walking Dead: Dead City and stars Negan alongside Maggie on a road trip to New York. That mere concept raises questions. Cinephiles are curious as to what this final run would deliver, an end to be remembered positively or negatively. What could possibly be so vital that Negan and Maggie settle their remaining differences enough to travel this long journey together? And why would either character leave behind their beloved children to make a long and perilous trip to the Big Apple? Maggie, as you may be wondering, was captured by the Commonwealth too and was separated from her young child, Herschel. Same with Negan, who was separated from his pregnant, most recent wife, Annie, who was also taken away to an unknown location. So apparently getting their loved ones back should be enough motivation to get them to work together. Lauren Cohan, who plays the role of Maggie, says in an interview, "The new show goes beyond simply living to keep meeting the challenges of defending yourself and your loved ones, and sadly, as strong as Maggie is, she's never been able to do that. She's lost almost everybody. Despite the lingering differences between her and Negan, even after he murdered her husband, she will most likely put them aside and team up with the ex-villain to get her beloved child back. If he's serious about this no longer a villain thingy, it's the least he can do." The post-apocalyptic road trip. The Walking Dead Season 11 Episode 21 explains why Negan and Maggie would come to that conclusion. Both tried to give the Commonwealth a wide berth for the sake of their families, but the Commonwealth hurt those families regardless. If another threat, be it the CRM or something else, is looming in the shadows, Negan and Maggie will be hoping to avoid making the same error twice. Do their kids appear in the spinoff? The only logical way Annie could appear in The Walking Dead's Dead City is if a time jump occurs between The Walking Dead's series finale and a Maggie and Negan spinoff. Leading a pregnant woman on a trek from Virginia to New York seems unnecessarily risky, and even more so after the birth when both parents have a baby to care for. A time jump could age Negan and Annie's child enough for the NYC trip to make sense. Even if Negan and Maggie travel alone, however, the Commonwealth stealing their children in The Walking Dead Season 11 would neatly explain why the two doting parents temporarily leave their children behind to investigate a faraway threat. Have I said Negan was nuts? It's true. That's it for the recap rant. Let me know what you think in the comment section.